The world has been watching and waiting as Rocky Mountain Construction erected one of their creations at the Busch Gardens Tampa theme park in Florida. Delayed 2 years due to COVID, this highly anticipated attraction is now accepting riders, and the hype is 100% back for this hybrid roller coaster. Known for transforming old wooden roller coasters into steel-tracked rides that have changed the entire industry, RMC have quickly become one of the top players in the game. This is Iron Gwazi, a review. Rocky Mountain Construction is one of the newer manufacturers of roller coasters. The iBox steel track is their flagship track type, and Iron Gwazi is a custom layout of this make, as with all their iBox models. The coaster uses some of the old supports and footers of the Gwazi dueling coaster, manufactured by GCI and closed in 2012 and 2015. Iron Gwazi starts out with a 206-foot lift hill and the steepest drop RMC has ever done, 91 degrees. What follows is some of their signature elements and never before seen inversions and turns. Below ground level, the drop uses all available height to get you up to top speed, into a long-lasting amount of airtime. This outer bank is a strong start to a great ride. Back to the left and up to the right into the signature element, a downward barrel roll known as the death roll, exiting and flowing right up into an overbank. Before heading back left and into an over-the-station flyby, a near miss with the lift hill and into 2 different pops of airtime as you head towards a 0G stall. The ride heads down and up into 4 moments of strong airtime, all different in their own ways, before turning towards the brake run. Now we'll break this ride down into the 5 categories that I feel make a coaster great. Known for their smooth coasters, RMC's iBox rides smooth, fast, and provides a comfortable experience. It should age quite well since it's steel versus their wood-based track, as those models can sometimes prove to show their roughness quite early on in their lifespan. The supports are interesting and somewhat sloppy in places. Steel beams were also added, similar to Zadra at Energylandia. You can look at them with a bit of a confused stare, but I guess they work. RMC's restraint system is growing on me. They aren't the most uncomfortable in the industry, and a lap bar is proving to be the best restraining system out there. Gwazi's bars don't forcefully come down harder on your thighs during the ride, so it's nice to still be able to have a little bit of breathing room by the end. The layout is massive, which allows elements to be stretched out in a way they usually aren't in other wood-to-steel transformations, and that is exactly what makes this ride so different. It could have been longer, and the layout possibilities were endless since they had 2 old coasters and a bunch of footers to play around with. Pair that with a ground-up lift hill, and RMC can really do wonders. Obviously. As with all of this Idaho-based company's rides, the excitement level is high for Iron Gwazi. Its non-stop adrenaline and intensity makes it hard to complain about anything in terms of excitement. The ride is fun and has you laughing through the entire layout. It's not too short because every moment hits so well and cohesively comes together from the end of one section to the next. If I absolutely had to complain, I'd say the first 2/3 of the ride is all thrill, and the ending is where you can tell it starts to trail off. A standout element could really be useful here, and I really wonder how an elevated heartline roll would fit in instead of the double camelback element. A 0G roll is another option for the space. Some would say it's repetitive or similar to the death roll, but it's a completely different entry, exit, and angle comparatively. It would make the ending stand out significantly. It would be an element to look forward to. Still, this ride does not stop from start to finish, and the pacing truly is one of the strong points. Elements 1, 2, 3, and 4 are disorienting in the back row, and then the rest of the ride is a toss-up between sitting in the front versus the back, as my personal favorite row. Elements blend together quite well. Transitions in between them are interesting and entertaining to ride through, and apart from the aforementioned ending that I do feel could be improved, it's hard to say this thing has pacing problems as you fly into the final breaks at an insane speed. If we're talking only steel to wood iBox transformations, this is easily the best paced RMC by a long shot. Through the storage building, you can see some old relics of the previous Gwazi trains, and reusing the station and queue of Gwazi Gwazi allowed this coaster to fit in with the surroundings of Busch Gardens immediately. There's some Easter eggs in the station paint design as well. I don't believe the theming would be at this level if it was built from scratch, so it's great that we get to have the massive entrance archway and grand station building that we do. Plants will grow in and it will even look better. A custom soundtrack helps during the wait, but it could be turned up because it's not very noticeable at the moment. There's little quirks during the ride, like the ditch at the bottom of the first drop, and funny supports leading up into the first outer bank that add to the experience, but past that, the theming is non-existent within the space of the old layout. Old footers are still visible, and foliage is not present for the most part. No major effort of trees or theming elements were placed around the track, and those could have added to the sense of speed, but because the coaster is wooden, we do at least get near misses with the support structure multiple times. Gwazi is very aesthetically pleasing, as wooden support structures and the track of RMC coasters generally are, and the bridge-like arch of the lift hill is easily the best looking lift hill design out there. Iron Gwazi doesn't feel like other RMCs. It's unique, re-rideable, and has individuality. It's got character. It's the only one of the transformations they've done that I actually can't understand what the previous elements were, because it really does not follow the old layout whatsoever. It goes in different directions using most all of the large footprint that the old Gwazi took up. And calling this a redo of Gwazi is just flat out wrong. This is its own animal. The length overall was increased versus one Gwazi track, even though it travels through it with a faster ride time. RMC really did a great job with this ride. Easily the best transformation from wood to steel they've ever done. Iron Gwazi is a coaster you laugh during, one that is fun and never has a dull moment. It is one of the best in the world and is one that is worth the trip to Tampa for. With Florida opening some of the most incredible roller coasters the world has ever seen recently, it's no wonder that coaster enthusiasts from around the world are already planning their trips to ride these not-to-miss attractions. Iron Gwazi is truly one of the greatest rides in the world. I never get off it not smiling. The elements are fresh, sustain their forces nicely, and they ride like no others out there. It ends with an average score of 8.90, which climbs just barely into my top 1%. It's super re-rideable, fast, fun, and has massive elements and airtime, which makes it one of the best roller coasters for me. I took the vote to Instagram as well, and you all gave Gwazi a score of 8.86, pretty close to agreeing with me. It falls only short of Fury 325, Velocicoaster, and Steel Vengeance according to that vote. Next time you ride Iron Gwazi, please think of Jake Kaminsky as you ride, who was part of the RMC construction crew who built it. I'm lucky enough to call someone who was so selfless and genuine a friend. He's made an impact in many industries in the short life that he had, and I can't imagine what he would have done for the future of the amusement industry. I'm sure he's on every Gwazi train jumping into that empty seat.